And in fact, that's what the next story is about. Apple's new App Store guidelines were recently announced. They made some changes. They claim that, hey, we heard you. We hear about this Google Stadia / xCloud. We know you want to do game streaming. Facebook want to do game streaming. They're like, we'll do something for you. And then I read the details. I'm like, you didn't do anything.
What'd they do?
They didn't do anything. They said, okay, listen. They said, it's cool. You can be on a platform, but every game that's available in your streaming app must also be downloadable directly from the App Store, and every game update must be submitted to Apple individually before a company can stream it to its users. This is not feasible. This is not how this stuff works. Mm-hmm. You can't have them be independently downloadable and charge money for them when the whole concept of the streaming thing is you pay a subscription fee.
And it's all in one.
And you quickly launch in without loading into all these titles. Mm-hmm. So it's not really a solution at all. Of course, it would clear up the 30% revenue thing. They would quickly be able to figure that out because you have all these separate download links. But it's a bit out of touch, to be honest. You might as well just say, no, you cannot have a game streaming service in here. Like, we're just not cool with it for whatever, XYZ, privacy, this, that, automatic streaming. We can't scan every single game that comes through. Just say that, because this is not feasible. It's not feasible for xCloud. It's not feasible for Google or any of these platforms. The whole proposition is different than the way that the App Store wants them to operate. Additionally, all of those game streaming apps would still be subject to Apple's usual App Store rules, including the company's contentious 30% cut. Microsoft and Google would have to radically change their proposed business models and jump through many hoops to get their cloud gaming services onto iPhones in this way. It almost feels like Apple designed the rules so it could seem benevolent while still keeping xCloud and Stadia out. This is written by Chaim Gartenberg on The Verge. There's been a number of, people are following this story, and rightfully so, because this really could, for a gamer type, it really could impact your decision on your next device that you get at this point now. If you really want to do game streaming with the type of titles you can come to expect on these type of platforms that we're talking about, Apple doesn't really have a solution for you right now. They launched their games product, but it's quite a bit different, right? And it's not console-style games. And you got to be looking really long and hard right now at potentially moving over to Android if this is any kind of priority to you. Because we now got a whole new write-up about the rules, and it's obvious there's going to be no place in there for these third-party game streaming services. And you tag on the Epic thing, and it's just starting to seem like if you're a gamer and you want to have the optimal mobile gaming experiences, you're at a kind of a bit of a disadvantage no matter what the hardware is capable of. Because that's the sad part. Apple's doing these incredible things with their mobile processing and their own silicon, and they're pushing hefty benchmarks on their devices. But if you can't throw the software you want on it, it's kind of for naught. Now, you could obviously make the argument that go play some other games, go download what is natively available, but you know how this goes. Well, you get into the App Store, and it's whether it's Google Play or Apple's App Store, you're searching these games. You don't want to play these games. Most of them. I'm saying most of them you play for 5 minutes, and you're kind of like, it's not comparable to a true flagship style game experience, that's kind of the promise of xCloud.
Not to mention if you want to play together with your friends.
Absolutely. You're making a heck of a point there. So you tried out the xCloud. You had an experience with it. How did you find the latency and things like this? You were playing the other day.
Well, it's a beta.
Yeah.
So they're still working on it. Can't really say anything about it.
Oh, you can't say anything about it.
Under embargo.
Holy moly, what a moment.
Yeah.
On Lou Later today. Willie Doo can't say anything.
Yeah.
That's how serious and special this man is today. But anyways, yeah, I think people are going to at least have to make this consideration. I hope they can sort it out. I think it would be an unfortunate reason to make a decision across platforms. If you love iOS, you're happy with your iPhone, you got all this horsepower, you would just hope that you could also experience these other services if possible, if they can figure out a way.